Hi, my name is Mer, and I don't know if these glasses look silly or not. Either way, recently I've been getting interested into the crazy world of toxic boy moms because what is happening over here? And maybe you're wondering, crazy boy moms? Yes, the ones who warn their future daughter-in-laws.
Girl, I ain't tryna be mean, but
The ones who claim that they are in love with their little boy. Not just they love their child, no, they are in love with their little boy. And the ones who already have like 2 daughters, for example, but still favor their boy. Let's talk about it. Now, let's start with the question, what is the difference between a mom of boys and a boy mom? I found this post on Reddit by this user, and we're going to read it together because I feel like she had a pretty clear explanation on what the difference is. The difference between a boy mom and a normal mother of boys is the value and standard they set for parenting their sons. A mother can dote on and adore their sons, but still parent to ensure they are respectful, safe, and kind with other people or siblings. The difference is that boy moms raise their sons to be special. The rules don't apply to them. Other people's feelings don't apply to them. It's an unhealthy relationship where the enmeshment is used to keep sons close and moderate their behavior both with their mother, too close, and isolate other women, potential enemies. In my opinion, this tends to result in adults who lack healthy boundaries with others, and since problematic behaviors are hand-waved away and always someone else's fault, it results in an adult that can struggle to form healthy, mature relationships with others to the mother's benefit, as it keeps him more reliant on her. That is just my experience and understanding of it. Ultimately, the son is a boy who will always pick you. By smothering him, you can maintain your position in his life, even if he does get married, so as long as you play your cards right. It's a projection of insecurities and misogyny onto not just any boy, but the perfect boy, because you made him that way. And now that we are on the same page of the definition, let's dive deeper. When a mother hand-waves away problematic behavior and uses an excuse such as boys will be boys, she removes the consequences that will help a child develop empathy and understanding. He never really had to change his behavior and got away more with than, for example, a daughter would.
He hits his sisters, he punches them. I'm like, maybe he's having a hard day.
Now, what is the damage? If a child is never taught that their actions hurt others, because in their youth their feelings were the only one that mattered in the household, they may grow into adults who are narcissists or have narcissistic tendencies in their relationships with others. They don't learn how to self-regulate or take accountability. When a partner points out a flaw, the adult son sees it as an attack rather than an opportunity for growth. Because his authority figure, the mom, never corrected him or never let him experience conflict and confrontation. If you have to face confrontation for the first time, it may lead to very high emotional states. You will feel a strong need to defend yourself because all your life you've been in the right and now someone dares to challenge that. Now let's go back to the dynamic that a child forms with his mom. Now let's go back to the dynamic that a child forms with the mom. These boy moms tend to treat their baby or toddler like their husband, which most likely comes from a place of missing love from the one that they really needed it from. Maybe their parents were abusive, or their partner lacked emotional availability and she had to carry everything by herself. And now she will try and fill that void with the love that her son gives her. In many boy mom scenarios, the mom looks to the son to provide emotional support that should ideally come from a partner or a community. And at times this qualifies as emotional incest, where the child isn't getting like physically abused, but through the blurring of emotional boundaries. The danger of this is that the son may feel a huge responsibility for his mother's happiness. He cannot leave her because emotionally it would feel like he's betraying her. And when they grow up, they may realize how much their mom depends on them, and they may start to refuse living lives of their own because they don't want to disappoint their mom.
So when I think about my daughters getting married, I get excited, right? They wear their dresses, planning their weddings. When I think about my son's wedding, I want to cry.
This may create a dynamic where the son is never truly available for a romantic partner, because essentially he's emotionally married to his mother, and there's no room for anyone else at that table. And this is also why these moms often view daughter-in-laws as these enemies. They are the other women stealing the emotional supply. And ironically, boy mom culture thrives on hatred on other women. By telling her son that he is too good for these girls, or that girls are just problematic and dramatic. And despite doing this out of protection, he is teaching that like women have less value than him. No women ever can measure up to the saintly mother. Other women are viewed as annoying and needy because they might actually demand things from him like growth and accountability. Now when the son does decide to get into a relationship, he is looking for a soft landing rather than an equal partnership. He wants a wife who will replicate the no rules childhood that his mother provided. But most women want a husband and not a project. And because these women do not want to put up with a man-child, this usually ends in a divorce or a breakup. Now let's go back to the mother-in-law situation for a minute. The damage starts with the comparison game. This is the mother-in-law who makes sure her daughter-in-law knows that she'll never quite get his favorite meal right, or who will helpfully point out he's always been sensitive and needs special handling, which only the mother can provide. This undermines a couple's ability to form their own identity. Instead of building their own traditions, the daughter-in-law is forced into a constant and exhausting competition with the ghost of this mom. She will feel like she can never be good enough because he has learned that the other person will always have to put up with his behavior, no matter how childish or harmful. Now, if the son does break free from this evil spell his mother put on him, she may start to spiral and weaponize her love against him and guilt trip him with saying things like, I guess I'm just not important anymore, and I did everything for you, and now I have to ask permission to see you? What can she do for you that I can't? And sadly, this puts the son in a lose-lose situation. If he defends his wife, he's the ungrateful one. But if he sides with his mom, he's a spineless husband. No matter what he chooses, he loses. If he defends his wife, he is a bad son. If he sides with his mother, he's a bad husband. Most men raised in this dynamic will choose the path of least resistance, which usually means staying silent while their mother tramples over their wife's boundaries. So where does this leave us? Is being a boy mom inherently toxic? Of course not. Because the problem isn't the love, it's the intent. True parenting comes down to raising your kids to eventually make their own decisions and live their own lives. Your job is to eventually be out of a job. It's raising a human to be functional, respectful, and independent.
Did you know that my 35-year-old brother does not do his own laundry? In fact, he takes 2 baskets of laundry to my mother and grandmother's house every other week, and they do his laundry for him.
So that they don't need you to navigate their adult relationships or handle their laundry. When they turn their sons into emotional placeholders or little kings, we aren't doing them a favor. We are sabotaging their future happiness for the sake of our current ego. You are in the end just raising your kid to never be able to live a life of your own and only be there for you. Like, you are making a kid live for you rather than having their own lives and their own experiences, their own relationship. You're not letting them like learn by experience. And yes, they will get hurt sometimes, just like you got hurt, but that's also just part of life. The sun is so bright. It's kind of messing up how this is looking. And I just find it incredibly sad how these daughters-in-laws will also just be punished simply for not being the same as their mom, which they shouldn't be. They shouldn't be like given this whole list of you have to take care of this, 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 and this, while the husband can just like sit on the couch and do nothing. Or you have grown adults who will still bring their laundry towards their mom. And unless you're disabled, whether that would be physically or mentally, there isn't really like any reason for you not to take care of yourself. Like, you are damaging them to not be reliant. Like, imagine if something happens to you as a mom, because how harsh this may sound, like you can get into an accident tomorrow and he won't be able to rely on himself, and this will also breaks down his self-worth and his confidence because he's not used to doing things himself. Another thing is that he may not even be able to form a true identity because all his life he has just been conditioned to be the person that you want him to be. And when he does try to break free, or if someone he loves corrects him, everything just becomes so incredibly unstable. And I personally find it unfair that your insecurities are the reason for breaking down another human being. That should never be the case. And once again, I don't really know how to finish this video. I am mainly just a awareness spreader, and I like to lightly talk about these topics that really interest me and have a few things from like TikTok and Instagram and Reddit to just make a small comprehensive video to just put a little bit of spotlight on the topic, because I feel like this is just so normalized, and I hate the word, but it is true, because I feel like a lot of people also aren't realizing that if this was like the other way around, and I mean like if a father would be like this with his daughter, the whole internet and the whole world would freak out. But simply because like the other way around, people aren't really paying that close attention, and that's kind of scary actually. And I don't want to say that you cannot love your child or you cannot spoil them a little bit. I feel like that's good, to an extent of course. But when raising a human being, don't form them to be like your mental support. If you really need that bad of mental support, go visit a therapist, go talk to someone, because help is out there. You don't have to do it all by yourself. And just because you got hurt or you don't have the love that you really crave, that doesn't mean you have to sacrifice someone else's happiness for it. And you're also just raising a man-child who can do nothing by himself, always just expects everyone to help him out, and crosses boundaries because he's never been corrected. He always got away with everything. And this may result into very abusive boyfriends because they have never been told no, or when they've been told no, there wasn't like a real consequence, and it runs pretty deep. So yeah, just don't be a crazy boy mom. I don't know how to end this. Thank you for watching. I love you. Goodbye. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!